Hi, welcome to Dice Control Dojo. I'm Phil, and I practice daily, share my tips so we can all get better at the casino. Today, we're getting into detail about our throw, detailing each part of the throw. So far, we've talked about large muscle groups and how you got to warm up your arm, practice that, and making sure it's just your shoulder that's moving. Everything else is frozen. And then yesterday, I rant and raved about my release and how my circle is not working. So I've been practicing that all day today. And I think I'm a little happier. And I apologize for my rant and rave yesterday, but I think I've got it down a little bit. I got a lot of work to do, but I'm getting there. So today we're talking about angle release. The angle, how high it's supposed to be, what was the speed, and what does that look like on a day-to-day basis. So this is all controversial too. This is what I do because I've been taught a lot of different things. If you see people, when they throw, they like it to stay nice and low. So the angle comes across like this and comes down. There are others that like to come up in the air and drop down. I'm under the thoughts that having a nice 45-degree angle drop works for me. It seems to drop and lay flat sometimes. If you're a little low and slow, sometimes you get a little extra rolls while you're going there. If you're too high and you're dropping down, sometimes they splash. So it's a fine line on what everybody's angle is. What's your angle? What degrees do you like to throw your dice? And are you consistent? So I'm going to tell you what, there is no right answer. If it's low and slow, or if it's 45, or if it's a big drop, it's all on you, what you want to do. What I'm trying to show you is it's got to be the same each time. Once again, we're trying to eliminate all of the problems. So if you're throwing your dice and you're watching yourself in slow motion, or you're watching yourself and those dice are going way up on a release or way low on a release, then that means that you're not consistently using your large muscle groups to do the same thing each time. And I don't care what angle you do. My angle's like a 45 degree. I want to kind of have it drop, up, down, stop, right? That's my angle, but it should be the same each and every time I throw it. My angle shouldn't be, when I release, way up here like that on the first throw, and then my second throw, I'm like, oh, I got to go low and slow, and then it's down low like that. I don't care which angle or how you do it, but when you're practicing, which I'm doing every day, I want it to be the exact same way. That way, I can determine if my muscle groups are doing the same thing each time. And that's the most important thing. Keep it simple, stupid. It should not be oh, I'm going to throw it up and around. That's why when we're talking about different levels here, SR1, SR2, SR3, throwing on the hook, there's so many varieties of people trying to throw different ways at different parts that you're increasing your ability to screw up. And what I'm saying is, when I'm practicing every day, if I'm throwing in my angle, it goes up, comes down in my landing zone, plops and sits, and it's the same angle each time. You watch back this video and my throw keeps going in the same spot. That's what I'm looking for. That's the thing. I don't care if you have it up and down. It just or low and slow. It just needs to be the same each time. That's going to eliminate all the another variable that we have in this incredibly great game of craps is trying to eliminate each possible ability. So see, My angle comes in at a kind of like a 45-degree angle. It drops down into my landing zone and hopefully bounces off the wall and stays. That's my ultimate goal. And to practice that, you have to make sure, one, your major muscle groups are doing the only movement. Two, that C or circle that I'm creating with my fingers are releasing the dice, so my large muscle group is releasing the same, is doing the same thing over and over again. It's not jerking one time and nice and soft the next time. It's the same movement. It's the same release. My fingers are doing the exact same thing. It's in the air. My follow through is the same every time, so that these dice come out of my hands the same way each time. So how do you get that consistent on a daily basis? That's the dedicated practice. If you're seeing your dice flopping and not hitting that back wall, then your muscles aren't moving right. So that's going back to start over again. Take your muscles and just hold your hands right here, right? You feel the muscles move, right? Right? You're feeling them move. Are they the same each time? Can you feel that arm move the same way each time? It doesn't vary. That way the dice, when they come out due to centrifugal force, the amount of energy exerted from that muscles is matching every time. That muscle memory gets in there. Muscle memory, 10,000 hours. Coaching and mentoring, same exact throw every single time. Every single time. It has to be consistent. You have to make sure your muscles are working. So grab your muscles here. Try that for a while. What does that look like? Can you feel the muscles move? And do they sit properly? So let's start over with what that angle looks like, right? We're talking about large muscle group. We're talking about angles. If it comes too short, that means your dice released too high and dropped down. If it goes too low, that means they came out right away. So were you jerking it, right? So we're going to analyze those throws in upcoming videos. We're going to make sure that if you do throw it short, what happened there? Where your dice came out because your arm was too fast, or your dice were too slow. Watch my nice and slow, right? Didn't even make it to the back wall because you overcompensated with your muscle group. So you have to, there's a lot of factors in here, but you have to be able to recognize that. So when we do this whole analysis series in upcoming videos, you can take that off of the, what is causing this angle? What angle do I want? And am I hitting that each and every day the same exact way? See, that was short because I shorted it. So is it your muscles that are doing it? Is it your follow through? Maybe you didn't follow through all the way. You know, you got to make sure you're not shorting the shot. So there's a lot of factors in angles. The angles is speed, release, and height. So if it's too short, if it's too long, is it a massive muscle group that caused it? And what did you do differently? And can you recognize what happened so that you can correct it, especially on a table? Because you got to be able to do that in order for you to throw consistently. So let's review. We talked about the angles and a lot of variations on what that is. What's your angle? Give me your throw angle. What do you like to do? Is it consistent? Are you throwing the same angle every time? That's what I really want you to do. The height is important and the speed is important. And that's all on major muscle groups and how you have to have that muscle memory here in order for you to do it. So join me tomorrow when we're going to talk about the follow through, what that looks like, so that you make sure you throw consistently. We're going to detail the follow through. And as always, the best way of betting at a casino is to bet on a person that throws for a long, long time.